Hello students, I hope you all are fine and safe at home. Before starting our class, let's recall what we have studied in our previous class. We have studied about cell, discovery of cell, different shape and sizes of cell theory, structural organization of cell, plasma membrane. Now in this video, we will cover the next part of our chapter. Cell wall. As you have studied in the previous class about plasma membrane, that plasma membrane is present outside of all the living cells. So in plant cell, one extra membrane is also present, that is called cell wall. A cell wall is a structural layer which is found in plant cells only, just outside the cell membrane or the plasma membrane. It occurs as a rigid, protective covering outside the plasma membrane. It is basically form of cellulose, which is a non-living substance. Chemically, cellulose is a polysaccharide. It provides structural support and mechanical strength to the cell. Now, what are the functions of cell wall? It determines the shape of the cell. Second, it protects the plasma membrane. Third, it prevents the desiccation or dryness in cells. It helps the transport of various substances in and out of the cell. As you know, it permits a plant cell to become turgid. As water enters the vacuole through osmosis, the plant cell expands. The cell wall has to be strong enough so that it can resist this expansion and so enables the cell to become turgid. It provides mechanical strength to support the cell. The cellulose microfibrils, they are very strong. The strength may be further increased by the addition of lignin in tissues such as xylem. It is freely permeable to water and substances in solution. Therefore, it allows various substances in and out of the cell. Nucleus. Nucleus is a spherical or oval, darkly stained structure. It lies usually in the center of the animal cell, but is displaced to one side in plant cell due to the development of the vacuole. Because you know that in plant cell, the vacuole size is quite large. So the nucleus is displaced to one side in plant cell, but in animal cell, it is present in the center of the animal cell. As I told you, it was discovered by Robert Brown in 1831. Generally, there is one nucleus per cell, but binucleate, that is two nucleus, and multinucleate cells are also present. Example is striated muscle fibers. Cells without nucleus are also found, like mammalian RBCs. RBCs that are present in our body, the red blood cells, they don't have any nucleus in them. And sieve tube cells of phloem in plants, they don't have the nucleus. Now, what are the functions of nucleus? Nucleus controls all the metabolic activities of the cell. Thus, sometimes it is also referred to as the brain of the cell. Nucleus is the control center of all the activities. It is a storehouse of genes which contains all the genetic information which are concerned with the development and manifestation of all body characters. Nucleus, it also controls cell division. Nucleus, it helps in the formation of ribosomes and different types of RNA needed for protein synthesis. Nucleus helps in the transmission of characters from one generation to the next because it contains the chromosome. Ribosomes are formed in the nucleolus part of the nucleus. And you know, if the nucleus is removed from the cell, the protoplasm ultimately dries up and dies. So nucleus, it is the main part of the cell. That is why sometimes it is referred to as the brain of the cell. Let's study about the structure of nucleus. The nucleus, it consists of the following things: nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm or nuclear sap, nucleolus, chromatin network, as you can see in the diagram. So, nuclear envelope. The nucleus is surrounded by two lipoprotein membranes which are very much similar to the plasma membrane. The outer membrane of the nucleus is continuous with the endoplasmic reticulum and may bear ribosomes on its surface, while the inner membrane is smooth. Now, nucleoplasm. The nucleoplasm is a viscous liquid enclosed by nuclear membrane. It contains enzyme, ribosomes, nucleolus and chromatin threads. Nucleolus. Nucleolus is a dense spherical body which is present within the nucleus. It is clearly visible in non-dividing cells. During cell division, it disintegrates. Nucleolus is without limiting membrane. Nucleolus consists of nucleic acid, that is deoxyribonucleic acid, and ribonucleic acid, protein and enzymes for the synthesis of ribosomes. Now here you can see some chromatin network. Chromatin network is a darkly stained intermingled mass of chromatin threads. These are form of DNA and proteins. Chromatin network, sometimes it is also called as chromatin reticulum. Our next topic is cytoplasm and protoplasm. The living substance of the cell, it is bounded by plasma membrane. We have already studied it, and it is called protoplasm. It is a jelly-like viscous colloidal or semi-fluid substance. Various cell organelles and inclusions remain suspended in it. Protoplasm includes all the components of the cell except cell wall and contents of the vacuole. Protoplasm can be distinguished into two parts, that is cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. Now cytoplasm, it contains many cell organelles. Each type of cell organelle has a characteristic shape and is specialized for a specific function. Here you can see in this table that what are the cell organelles that are found in cytoplasm. So some are double membrane bound organelles, some are single membrane bound organelles, and some organelles are there which are without any membrane. So in double membrane bound organelles, you are going to study about mitochondria and plastids. In single membrane bound organelles, you are going to study about endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosomes and vacuoles. And in organelles that don't have the plasma membrane, they are the ribosome, centrosome and the centrioles. So one by one we are going to study about all these cells. Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum means a network in the inner fluid of cell. It is a complex network of channels bounded by membranes. It spans out in the cytoplasm of all eukaryotic cells. At some places, these membranes are connected with plasma membrane at one end with nuclear membrane at the other end, forming a continuous channels. Endoplasmic reticulum is absent in prokaryotic cells and mammalian RBCs. Endoplasmic reticulum, they occur in two forms, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. In a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, membranes of a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they are very smooth because ribosomes are not attached to them. But in rough endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes are attached to the outer surface of the membrane. Hence, rough endoplasmic reticulum membranes have grainy or rough appearance. Now, what are the basic functions of endoplasmic reticulum which they are performing inside the cell? Endoplasmic reticulum, they provide mechanical support to the cell. Its channel form intracellular transport system. It forms new nuclear membrane after every cell division. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they take part in the synthesis and storage of lipids and steroids. So this is the main function of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, that they are helping us in the synthesis of lipids. And you know that lipids, they help in the formation of plasma membrane. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, they help in the synthesis and transport of proteins. Lipids and proteins synthesized by endoplasmic reticulum are used for making cell membrane for membrane biogenesis. So how they are helping in membrane biogenesis? As I told you, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they are helping, they take part in the synthesis of lipids, and rough endoplasmic reticulum, they help in the synthesis of protein. And from lipids and proteins, the cell membrane is made up of. So that is why they are helping in the membrane biogenesis. Now some of the endoplasmic reticulum of liver cells, they take part in the detoxification of many drugs and poisons. So they help our body. How? Because they help in detoxifying our body. Now let's see what are the differences between the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they are formed of mainly vesicles and tubules. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, they are formed of flattened sacs or cisterns. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Membranes of a smooth endoplasmic reticulum are smooth. They don't have the ribosomes. But membranes of rough endoplasmic reticulum are rough or grainy with ribosomes attached to outer surface. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Protein synthesis does not occur in SER, that is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. But ribosome in rough endoplasmic reticulum, they help in the synthesis of proteins. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum is associated with synthesis and secretion of lipids and steroids, which are helpful in the formation of plasma membrane. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is associated with synthesis of and transport of proteins. A smooth endoplasmic reticulum, they help in detoxification. They toxify a variety of organic molecule poisons. They detoxify a variety of organic molecules, poisons and drugs. But rough endoplasmic reticulum, they don't do so. Golgi apparatus. Then the next cell organelle. The Golgi apparatus, it is also known as the Golgi complex, Golgi body, or simply the Golgi. It is an organelle which is found in most eukaryotic cells, but it is again absent in the RBCs. Part of the endomembrane system in the cytoplasm. It packages proteins into membrane-bound vesicles inside the cell before the vesicles are sent to their destination. So the main function of the Golgi apparatus is secretory. Golgi apparatus, it acts as a way station or assembly area for the storage, processing and packaging of various cellular secretions. It packages materials synthesized in the cell and dispatches them either to intracellular targets such as plasma membrane and lysosome or extracellular targets. Other functions of Golgi apparatus are synthesis of cell wall, plasma membrane, lysosome, polysaccharide and glycoproteins, secretion of mucus, enzymes and storage of secretory products, formation of acrosome in sperms and cell plate during cell division in plant cell. Mitochondria. Now we will study about mitochondria. It is our next cell organelle. The mitochondria, they are the tiny bodies of varying shapes and size distributed in the cytoplasm. Each mitochondria, it is bounded by a double membrane envelope. Outer membrane is porous. The inner membrane is thrown into folds, as you can see here in the diagram, and therefore have an area several times the surface of area of the outer membrane. These folds, they are called cristae and are studded with small rounded bodies which are known as F1 particles or oxysomes. The interior cavity of the mitochondria is filled with a proteinaceous matrix which contain a few small sized ribosomes, a circular DNA molecule and phosphate granules. Mitochondria, they are generally absent in bacteria and in the red blood cells of mammals. Now, what is the basic function of mitochondria? Mitochondria, they are sites of cellular respiration. They use molecular oxygen from air to oxidize the carbohydrates and fats present in the cell to carbon dioxide and water vapor. Oxidation, it releases energy, a portion of which is used to form ATP. Since the mitochondria synthesize energy-rich compounds, they are also known as powerhouse of the cell. The energy stored in ATP is used by the cell. ATP, it stands for the organic compound adenosine triphosphate. ATP is generally known as energy currency of the cell. Mitochondria, they are able to make some of their own protein, so they are sometimes regarded as semi-autonomous organelle. So, I hope you have learned from this video. We will cover the next part of our chapter, that is cell, the basic unit of life, in our next video. Thank you.